Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
It's a loaded Wednesday, right? Wednesday. How are you, boys and girls? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book. Dave Sharapan, the book, Matt Perrault, the Bostonian. This will be a record, boys and girls. We've never had 3 straight days of 2 guests in every single show.
No.
This is a first.
Yes.
Julian Edlow,
Yes.
DK Sportsbook, is in the green room. He will be here in just 1 second.
Yes.
Coach Young coming on later.
Yes.
We're doing football. We're doing basketball. How are you? What time have you been up since? And how was the sleep study last night?
I sent you the picture of me in the sleep study. I got wired up, plugged up. My head had stickers all over it and wires. And they said, go to sleep. I said, what are you talking about? I got a layer like this, and I'm wearing this heart monitor thing. And the guy says, yeah, just relax. Turn the lights out. Just go to sleep. We'll keep an eye on you all night. Perfect. So checked a couple scores. I went to sleep. The Flyers were losing. I woke up. The Flyers lost. That was interesting. The Penguins were playing a boring, tight game. They won. So that was the last thing that I saw. And I woke up this morning at 4:30 in the morning. I told the guy I'm ready to go. Get this stuff off me. So we've been up since 4:30 in the morning. I missed a quick nap after the kids went to school or wherever the hell they went. And we're here. We texted Jules early. Jules said, absolutely. He's ready to go. JY said he'll be here. We got a big day in the NBA to discuss with the boys.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everything else. Killed it yesterday with Jessica and Eli with, the Massachusetts stuff and college basketball. Creighton, my goodness gracious. We'll get to that in a second. That team looks I only saw highlights, but I saw the score kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It didn't matter. Team total, first half, game spread, check. Just it was all over it. Yeah, it was good. So yeah, we're ready to go. It's Wednesday. We set the record for likes on Monday. It was up to 115. I just checked it. We answered some of the comments on there. Again, thank you guys for doing that. When you come in here for Roll Call Friday, you announce where you're from, where you're watching it from. Every day, if you can make it part of the routine, just hit the like button on the way in or while we're sitting here waiting for the show to start at the ish time. It's helping. Something's going on with the algorithm. Things are happening. And we got doubleheader guests 3 days in a row because they said you couldn't do it. Told me, oh, you can't get guests every day. No, really? We could. Can you get 2? Oh, maybe. Yeah, we could. Only if they're quality guests like today's are, like every day is. That's what we do here on the BVB.
All right. Let's go to the South Shore of my home
ready?
state of Massachusetts. Let's go and jump in and talk to our friend Julian.
Born ready, Sharapan.
Born ready. One Mr. Julian Edlow.
Oh, we got the nice shot, too. Look at this guy.
Back on the BVB. Wow, you are logoed the fuck out. Wow. Look at you.
We're logoed up because we're not at the South Shore, the basement office in my home. We are at DKHQ, Back Bay, downtown. Those commercials, they don't film themselves, guys. Emerson and I were in the studio getting them done earlier.
It's funny.
Not there now, is he?
No, when those are over, he immediately steals a bunch of candy and drinks from the kitchen and goes home.
And
cheese.
And cheese too, yes. So Dave, I'm sitting on I'm having a phone call with a friend of mine who I've known in the business for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
He said, do you know Julian Edlow? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's on BVB all the time. We talk to him all the time. He's from New England, blah, blah, blah. He's like, that guy's going to be a star. You know that, right?
Oh.
You've got the star rumor mill flying around, Jules. I mean, everyone's saying you're the next big thing in this biz.
Whoa.
We'll have to hear, I don't privately who that was, but We'll find out. We'll see if they got a good eye for talent or not. Time will tell.
All right. Eye for talent, all that other stuff. You look great. You sound great. You got to talk about the Celtics. I mean, I'm wearing the Sixers stuff because the show's called Bostonian versus the book. He's the Bostonian. The Celtics are ridiculous up until the last game when they lost against Minnesota, but that's okay. Road favorites again today. Sixers, Celtics. It's an old school matchup with a lot of history. What does it mean today? Do you have anything on the game, Jules?
Yeah, I haven't bet them in this one. I mean, in general, the Celtics are just going to be a bet on team. And they're like last year, they were an underdog for the first time in like late December. And they were an underdog very few times. We'll get even fewer probably this year, pending rest and injuries and whatnot. And this is, people don't like betting against their teams. Like, obviously, I'm here in Boston. If there's a team that I do still have faith towards as a fan a little bit, I would consider it the Celtics. But I do think like this isn't a team that you're going to have many fade spots on this year, even if you're a neutral, just looking at the landscape of the NBA. Now, that said, I have passed tonight. And I generally like to bet them when they're, off a loss, really favorites. They're getting Derek White back, and Derek White is a key part of that mix. He was arguably their best player in their home win over Miami. He had 26, 28 points, D'd up on Butler. He's a big piece of the puzzle, and he's supposed to be getting to Philly tonight. He had a kid over the weekend, and he's getting back on the floor. Now, the reason I haven't bet it is because this game just has to mean more to Philly. You're at home. It's year after year that the Celtics eliminate you. It's not a reminder. But they've been playing well in Philly. It's a little bit different this year. They finally cleared the air. They got rid of Harden.
They're 6-0 ATS. You know that, right?
They're incorporating these new pieces.
Yeah.
I don't mind what they have going on in Philly with the Sixers. Are they going to come out of the East? Nope. I don't think they're getting through Boston or Milwaukee. But they don't know that yet. It's still early and exciting for them, and they're at home. So this is the type of game that maybe they can get. You remember there was a Saturday primetime game last year. Tatum hit that game-winning 3, very close game.
Remember.
I expect the Sixers to play very well tonight. Lean to the Celtics, but I've left it alone.
Yeah, I bet the Celtics, and the reason is because anytime
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I laid the 2 because Al Horford doesn't take it away, but he can slow down Embiid enough. He becomes a problem for them. And then, yes, Maxi's tremendous, but Boston's just deeper, better, coming off of a loss. And also, the Sixers, I mean, Dave said they're 6-0, but they've played nobody.
Here we go with the schedule.
Look at their schedule. Their schedule. They've literally played nobody of like the Raptors, with the Raptors twice, I think. Okay. I mean, they haven't played anybody like this. This is their first real Eastern Conference. Let's measure you up game. I think Boston wins by 7 or more.
Well, so you're right about all that, but that could also be a big reason that they get up for the game, whereas the Celtics are like, hey, it's the Wednesday on the last game of our road trip. So that's my only pause for concern. Like, it should mean more to Philly, like, oh, we want to beat these guys, than it does to the Celtics, who all offseason poke the jokes. Like Jason Tatum did whatever it is, Kevin Hart show in the cold tub, where Kevin Hart's like, oh, it's always a good game against Philly. Jason Tatum's like, oh, it is? Yeah, we always win. So I think it's a bigger game for the Sixers than the Celtics. That's all I'll say. And they're at home.
Couple big games in road favorite LA teams. Clippers at Brooklyn, up to 5.5 in a lot of places. Lakers at Houston, 4.5, 5. Same or both, one or neither favorites cover in those games. I'm looking at those going, maybe Jules got something there, anything, or am I catching you off guard with those games?
I think, well, not necessarily catching off guard, although I have been busy all morning shooting things. Are the Lakers up to 4.5? Damn. I almost bet the Lakers. I almost laid 2.5 with the Lakers. That obviously means Anthony Davis is in. Is that official?
Well,
this means it. I don't know.
I mean, you're at the DraftKings headquarters, don't you know?
Yeah, I know. I had a busy morning. I was in things, meetings, shoots, whatnot. Man, all right. So I wish I had Lakers laying 2.5. probably doesn't matter. You can still probably lay 4.5 if they're at full strength. What I like is, first of all, I'm not high on the Rockets. I do have their season win total under. Maybe they're a little inflated because they just beat the bag out of the Kings twice in a row without De'Aaron Fox. The other angle I like here is LeBron. Like, the Lakers just sent all that film to the NBA. Like, oh, he's getting fouled here, he's getting fouled there. Generally, how this works out for LeBron is that he gets some extra whistles the next game, whether it's right or wrong. So I would lean to the Lakers. And the other thing with the Lakers is that they are 0-7 first half ATS this season. They get off to slow starts. And they sit LeBron some in the third quarter, and then he basically argues about how much he's going to play in the fourth based on how much they're down. You could probably get a good live number on the Lakers in this game if they're trailing entering the fourth quarter, and you watch the game and see LeBron walk out to start the fourth quarter. He's probably going to play the whole thing, or at least until they're up comfortably. So this is one, hey, you missed 2.5. Should I bet 4.5 or not? Maybe you wait for this one in game. The Clippers and Nets, I don't know what to say because I don't know what to make of the Clippers yet. I'm convinced they're not going to win the West. They're not going to win the championship. I'm convinced that this mix isn't going to work, but I don't know what they are right now, how fast it's going to work. They're clearly going to have like ridiculous nights here and there where they're all on and they score 150 points and whatever. So like, I just can't tell you that I know what I'm betting on. And generally that's something I don't like.
So we have an East Coast matchup with Philly and Boston. The West Coast matchup is Golden State on the road at the Nuggets. The number's coming down. Jokic has a wrist issue. I don't know. Do you think that number means he's not playing, or just there's a lot of concern about how many minutes he'll be able to play? Because Draymond Green generally does a decent job on Jokic. I mean, it's
no Draymond.
Yeah,
I did catch that one. No Draymond.
Draymond's out.
Yeah.
So but why is number coming down with Draymond out?
Well, so I saw this one get as low as 3, and it's now 3.5. So
it was 4.5 last night, though.
Right. Okay. I
think it was only 4.5 in one place where you were looking, Perrault.
The 4.5 down to 3. I don't like. We already knew Jamal Murray was out, but some of that could be off of that.
But he's been out for a couple of games without a hamstring. He's been out for a
bit.
I
know. I just think maybe the bettors disagreeing with the opener, saying that without, a guard of that caliber against the Warriors, who have 3 really good guards, that this should be bigger. And then it moves, and then it moves again a little bit off of Draymond being out. If it is a tough game, if Jokic plays, like, I would just bet. I would look at 2 things. I would look at Jokic props because there's no way. We've seen this a million times with Golden State and bigs. What was it? Suns Golden State opening night. I bet Nurkic rebounds. He went way over. Like, I would look at Jokic rebounds or some sort of combination of props if he's a full go, particularly with Draymond out. But then on the other side, like, now you got Reggie Jackson starting for Denver. Like, maybe I'd be interested in his point prop, but he only played 24 minutes last game, which I didn't like. The Warriors guard should play very well and keep them in this game. So more than picking a side, I don't love betting Denver without Murray, particularly against a team like Golden State. So like Jokic rebounds, assuming he gets a full green light, would probably be my look in this game.
Jules, have you looked at the football this week? Because New England is playing over in Germany. They're dogs, and it's been a bad season. Let's just call it for what it is. The show's called
They have the fewest wins in the AFC. That's accurate.
It's unbelievable.
What's the feel there? Like, just around. I mean, you're there in New England. We were talking about it. Perrault and I have been talking about it, that he said this is Bill's last year. Bill is done. And, I thought Bill leaves when Bill wants to leave. It doesn't sound like Bill wants to leave, but they're going to make him leave. And now they're playing over in Germany, and you got to get up early for breakfast like we do out in Vegas. But any opinion about this game, and what's the vibe in New England for this game?
Yeah. How do you say dumpster fire in German?
Somebody put that in the chat. How do you say dumpster fire in German? Someone will come up with that, but that's a good one, Jules.
Okay.
Yes. It's a mess.
I have no feel for how long Belichick is going to be here or not. He's obviously lost his fastball. There's only so much your reputation can do for you.
Yeah.
And the Patriots have taken sharp money a lot of times this year. And like, it didn't start that badly with the narrow loss to the Eagles. And then a narrow loss to the Dolphins. And then you beat the Jets in a game you should win. So we didn't quite know yet. And then that's when the Dallas and New Orleans blowouts happened. And the wheels have come off. I don't know. The feeling is really different person by person in terms of a local feel. Like, there's some people that care a lot because they just have been brought up with all this winning in New England football, and
that's annoying.
Really sad about it.
Yeah.
There's other people like me that just can write it off. I don't care that much. We have other good things to pay attention to.
Right.
And I also understand, like, this is how the rest of the world works. And I know, Matt's a little older than me, so he had those older Patriots teams, not all of which I remember. I'm more of like, the end of the Bledsoe era, but they still got to a Super Bowl in 1996.
Right.
That's how things generally work. That pre-1996 Patriots, and what you see across the rest of the NFL, it took the Houston Texans 20 years to find their quarterback. It looks like they have one in Stroud. Like, that's normal life, and I know that. And we had Tom Brady here for 20 years of my life, and I know that means after that, there's going to be a lot of suffering and pain. Now, the thing is Bill Belichick delaying that suffering and pain from the reset button by not selling at the trade deadline and not giving Mac Jones the best offensive coordinators? Maybe, and that's the part that can be frustrating. But in terms of overall feel, like, this is how things work in the NFL.
Fjord im mold container.
I will take the Colts on the money line at their like minus 20. Your JC Jackson's staying home. Other guys are staying home. You just had a spot. If there's a bounce back spot from the Dolphins, it's at home against Washington. We just traded their two best pass rushers. They're one of the worst defense against pass offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yet you look like the 85 Bears on defense against Mac Jones and company. Things aren't getting better taking the red eye or whatever the hell it is you take to Germany on Thursday night to get off the plane all out of whack and play a football game on Sunday. It just
dumpster fire in German, and I don't know German, but it's Fjord im molten container. So there you go. That's dumpster fire in German.
Sounds accurate.
So Fitzy, Nick Stevens, who works for WEEI in Boston, posted something yesterday that I found to be really interesting. This is like the most rosiest colored glasses you can possibly look through if you're a Patriot fan, that there could be an alternate universe where the team is 6-3 because of all the close losses that they had this year. Now, they're not, okay? But if you go ahead, there is some truth to this, Dave. I mean, if you look at the number of games the Patriots were in all the way until the final, literally, series and what they have lost, even last week against Washington with Mac Jones throwing the pick to end the game. If they finish strongly, say they go, I don't know, say they win 7 games, they win 5 games the rest of the way. Can you spin it? I mean, is it going to be okay with folks if Belichick is coming back next year? Or do you think that Robert Kraft has to make a move just because there's so much bad, whatever, dark cloud over the franchise at the moment and there are coaching options available?
I mean, first of all, there's zero chance this team wins 5 games the rest of the way, but I'll play your silly game with you.
Truth.
Okay.
I'll play the game. You asked me a question. I don't think there's any scenario where like an overwhelming majority of the fan base has a problem with Bill Belichick coming back because he's Bill Belichick. Now, is that right or wrong? We'll find out. Probably wrong, but I think there's so many Patriots fans that feel they owe Bill Belichick so much that as long as they're keeping him, they're never going to say that's never going to be a big story. Like, oh, Belichick's coming back this year. It's not a huge story. The huge story is going to be if and when they part ways, how that comes.
Right.
All right. Well, let me ask this then. If you think that they're not winning 7 games, how many games do they win and what number are they picking? Because are they going to have a shot at one of the 3 quarterbacks coming out? Like, can they get a Drake May? They're probably not getting Caleb Williams, but because it looks like Carolina is going to be the number 1 pick, but they may not take a quarterback. They just took a quarterback. Could the Patriots be in line for a top quarterback? And if they were, do they have to get rid of Belichick to do it? Because he would probably love to trade the top 3 pick versus taking a quarterback in the top 3.
I'm going to say I should probably bet the Patriots in-season win total under 5.5 because they've got 2 now, and I'm going to say they win 3 more.
That's the number. Very nice.
Let's call the Colts and Broncos coin flips. Let's say those are 1-1.
Okay.
Even though I think they could lose both. I think I'm picking the Colts this weekend, and then they're at Denver. So it could be both. But I'll give them losses to the Chargers, at Steelers, Chiefs, loss, at Bills, revenge spot, loss. Jets game, if it's the last game of the season and the Jets are out and it's at home, like they can get that. But what if the Jets are still alive for a wild card? That could be it.
Wow.
The one game they're going to win is Bill going to play at the Giants. It's after the bye.
Yeah.
The Giants
are awful.
Playing me at quarterback. Bill likes beating his old team, whatever. Like, that's the one game they'll win. So they'll be in the mix, but will they make the right call? I think they certainly have no problem moving on from Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So what pick will it be? What quarterbacks are on the board? And then that's the scenario where it's like, if Bill's pushing back on taking a quarterback there, that's when you think about, okay, do we have to move on from Bill in total? Do we have to move on from Bill as the general manager? Because we're picking 6th and we need a quarterback badly. But I would not be comfortable playing that quarterback until there's an offensive line in place.
Right.
And there's some receivers in place, because quarterback is like the 3rd or 4th thing on the list they need to fix.
Fair. All right. Talk about moving on. You mentioned them earlier. Your man, Emerson, doing all the commercials. You guys look great and all this other stuff. He's taking the cheese and all the snacks. There's a lot of cross-conference matchups this week. I don't know if there's any other ones that are Super Bowl possible previews. And hopefully we're going to see you out here for the Super Bowl. That's the plan anyway.
So too.
Yes. San Francisco is at Jacksonville.
Determined.
Well, I'll pick you up if you come. Don't worry about it.
I will be. I'll be out there November 30th to December 4th.
Perfect.
Gonna go to the Pac-12 championship game. Looking forward to that.
We'll go with you. I have plans to go to that as well. We'll have dinner at East. San Francisco's at Jacksonville, Jules. I know your man's probably over the moon with the game. There's a lot of money bet on this game. This will probably be one of the most bet games, picked games and contests and all this stuff. The line's perfect. San Francisco -3. Totals 46.5. It's only Wednesday, and I'm not holding you to it. And I know your man's not there, so you can say you like San Francisco. It's fine. But do you like San Francisco?
I would say I like San Francisco if he was sitting right behind me. But he's not. I lean San Francisco. 2.5 opener, obviously much better on San Francisco. Yeah. I'm not going to bet this game, I don't think. And I hate the narrative of like, well, San Francisco can't lose this many in a row. Like you were saying that the last time too. Like, yes, they can unless they show up and play well and win. But I do think when they're healthier, it takes them to another level with some of those guys they've been missing, and they're going to get a lot of them back off the bye. So
are you buying Jacksonville at all as a possible like AFC championship participant, number 2 seed in the AFC, getting a 2 home game road to the playoffs? Is that possible, or you're not buying it yet?
Maybe if the path sets up perfectly, they could play in the AFC championship game. I would have to see, what happens. Does someone get hurt and miss games? Like, I don't know how the seeding will set up, but like Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Baltimore are better teams in my mind.
Okay.
And a tier above. Like I don't put Jacksonville in that class at all.
Okay.
So if there's 3 teams better, I'm gonna say no, they don't get there. But we know how things can shape up in the NFL.
It changes just like that.
Yeah. Jules, get here on this. Thursday is 38.5.
Oh God.
Sunday is 36.
Oh,
Monday is 47. We have seen a 22-7 record in primetime unders. How many this week go under? 1, 2, or 3, or none?
Man, you're getting me out of here with another dumpster fire.
It's for your the chat has corrected me. It's Feuer de Munehemmer, whatever it is. Dumpster fire in German. Thank you.
See, I'm going to say at least 2
Right?
go under, and it sticks with the trend. I would say the one I like most is probably Jets and Raiders.
Right.
Go under.
Yep.
On Sunday night would be my call. The Jets have a pretty good defense. Raiders are going to come back to life a little bit. They just had the Super Bowl against maybe the worst team in the league right now in the Giants. So that's my one that's going under. It's a big number on Buffalo, Denver.
Yeah.
I guess I would lean under. And then I'm not even going to bother talking about Panthers, Bears. I have no idea.
How are the kids, Jules? Everything good with the kids? Everything good?
The reason I got these bags under my eyes, but they're great.
They don't sleep, man. It's a hard life.
They're still adjusting to daylight savings, which is
it's the worst.
So now the 7 a.m. wake up time, they don't know the time. It becomes 6 a.m.
Correct. Yes.
And I have college basketball and NBA to watch, so that doesn't stop.
They don't care about that, Jules. But
it is the worst in New England. I never actually knew that I am the way that I am when it comes to sun until I moved back home and realized that when it gets dark at 4:15, I really have a problem.
It's the
worst. I didn't think I had seasonal depression, but I get seasonal depression. I'm in a bad mood. Right now in November to Christmas, I was in a bad mood just because the sun, you never see the sun.
I don't mind the beginning of it because it's kind of like it's just starting and it's the holidays and it's not dumping snow yet. But once you get past New Year's, that January, February stretch, those are the bad ones.
Ooh. Not fun. Jules, tell the folks where they can find you. Hold on, go ahead and promote your stuff. Where can they find your stuff these days? You're everywhere.
You see the logos, they're there. DraftKings Network, you can find everything there on the site. We do have a new thing. It's called betting groups. So I tweet the links when I bet something. So there's 180,000 people in the group, but you click it, all my bets and other people that work here, it's in there. It's on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, but you don't have to be in a legal state to be in it. You can still go in it and look.
Okay.
You don't have to be in a legal betting state. Unreasonable Odds podcast that comes out once a week. Check that out. And then the show on VSiN on DraftKings Network, YouTube TV. We do more getting up early on the weekends for me. The Sweat, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, Saturdays and Sundays. That's a couple months old now. And
you're beating the traffic at least, though, when you're getting there on the weekends.
Usually, except sometimes some bozo flips his car over on the highway and I am in traffic. But for the most part, it's a very easy drive.
Julian, thank you for the time, my friend. We'll do it again soon, all right?
See you in a few weeks, Jules.
Yeah, see you here.
This anonymous person that says I'm a star.
We'll do. I'll let you know.
If it was Emerson, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Oh, no, it was not Emerson. No. It was somebody actually that matters a little bit in the business. So just a little bit.
Right,
Take care, man. That's Julian Edlow joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get him on the program. We will get to Coach James Young here in the next couple of seconds for us here on BVB. That was good. I tell you, man, it's just that daylight savings time in New England is he's right. It gets way worse when the snow starts to fall, but I don't know. We need to get rid of this. This is an archaic. My mom told me the history of it a couple days ago. Do you know that it comes from Puritan farming?
Yes.
I didn't know this. I had no idea that it was back in when Thanksgiving was actually beginning. We had in the farm rotation of when to rotate crops.
Yeah.
As to what crops would grow when you need more sunlight to get people up to be able to go and work in the fields.
Right.
At different points of the year.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? It's 2023.
We're still growing crops somewhere, I guess, right?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Please Arizona, you guys are smart. You guys are just it's all you. We're done with this.
Our friends in Indiana don't do it either on the one side of the state.
How could you just do that? How could you decide I live in a state, I'm going to take this one portion of my state, and we're not paying attention to the rest of you?
It's our time. Our time here. That's I listen, I can't stand it either. I came downstairs yesterday before I got started on the grid, and it was dark. I load up the water, and the show starts at 5, and I'm like, it is dark. Kendall's sitting downstairs in the dark with the TV on. I'm like, it feels like it's 10 o'clock already.
Right. We came home.
Stinks.
We came home yesterday. We went food shopping, and Madeline and I came home, and I was like, we're gonna go to the gym to go swimming, and she was like, "Wait a minute, what time is it?" I said, "It's 5:45." She goes, 5:45. She said, yeah, right. I was like, "It feels like it's 9." She's like, "Yeah, it feels like it's really late." I'm like, "No, you're not going to." She's like, "I'm not going to bed for 3 hours." I'm like, "No, you're not going to bed for 3 hours."
Now, see, listen, we got a lot of people watching the show. Again, thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got farmers. D Stout's a farmer. He listens to us, watches us every day on the tractor,
right?
Taking care of the farm. Gary Flights is in here, and he said, "I'm a farmer, and I say make daylight saving times permanent. No more time change."
Agreed.
Okay.
They don't need it. Those guys don't need it. Those guys have got, the technology that goes into like big scale farming right now, like in Iowa and Nebraska. Those guys have got it down pat. They got Wi-Fi. They got all sorts of different things inside in the tray.
Maybe we could start the push on the BVB, like get the brigade and people talking about it, and then
because the problem is
Massachusetts
should be on Atlantic time, not East Coast time.
Why?
Do you know how far east Massachusetts is? Like go look at a map, like a real map.
Yes.
Philly is here, right? Mass is over here.
Yeah.
So it's way far to the east.
It's not even the furthest east though, right?
Of what?
Like, there's still states up above it. New Hampshire's further east, right? And then
no, I think Maine
is further east.
Maine's the only one that's further east. I think everything else, if you take the Cape, if you look at the Boston and the Cape, but basically starting from the Vermont, New Hampshire border, that should be all Atlantic time. That shouldn't be East Coast time.
We already have 3 time zones. It's hard enough. I don't think we need 4.
Our friends in the PEI in the Prince Edward Island, they're on Atlantic time.
They're on Atlantic time.
So they handle it and they do it because it's weird in New England when it gets dark at 4:15. Because it does. It gets dark at 4:15.
Used to be the worst. Like come home from school and before you even got to start the after school cartoons or something, it was dark. I hated that. I did not like that.
I'll never forget it.
It's dark here now early too already.
Yeah. It was in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I had just moved home. I had been back for probably, I think I'd been back for like 7 or 8 months. It was the first time I had daylight savings time when I was back at home. And I remember looking down at my clock. I don't know why it's so vivid in my brain, but I remember looking down at the clock in my car and it said 4:15 and it was pitch black.
Yeah.
And I went, this is why I was always in a bad mood. Like, this is why I was pissy for 6 months out of the year. It's dark. It's cold. You have traffic. People piss you off. People moving around. They won't stop. They're all in a rush. You're in everyone's way. Everybody wants you to get out of their way.
Sounds like, a lot of places back east.
Yep.
Frankie.
But the sun, for me, the sun played a huge portion of me not being able to actually be there. But
what's the best time zone?
Ours.
Put it in the chat. East
for what,
Coast,
though? For sports,
Central,
it's ours.
Mountain,
question.
Or Pacific.
It just sucks because the whole world's run on East Coast time. For America, the whole country is run on East Coast time.
Christopher Borchette just came in the chat and said Central time is the best time.
No, I lived in it for years.
Debatable. I don't know. Central time is the best time.
Disagree. No, not for sports. It's not. On top of that, but
for sports, I think it's West Coast time.
Yeah, it's ours. It's not even a question.
But
West
Mountain makes a good argument.
It does. Mountain time does make a decent argument for some sports, but I still take ours. I still like West Coast time versus Mountain time, but one of the two. I think we're 1, but Mountain time's 2. But everything's done on East Coast time, so it's the world's run off of East Coast time for sports in America. And yet we are here, 3 hours behind. We get to go to bed at 9 o'clock on Sunday nights. East Coast people go to bed at 1 a.m. or midnight because the games are just getting over.
Mish just sent me a text. Big man, Mish.
Yep.
Hawaii time's the best time.
Hawaii? No, I've been to Hawaii twice.
Hawaii time is pretty sweet.
It's 6 hours off from New York.
It's tremendous.
I
don't know. Island time is great. Hawaii.
You want to have football kicking off consistently at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
That's too early, man. 6 a.m. is too early. That's too early.
Wow.
That's too early. I like 9. Give me 9. 9 a.m. is fine. I like that. 6 a.m. is, it's way too early.
Yeah.
No, it's not too early. Let's get to our guy. Mr. James Young. Coach is here. Back to the BBB he goes.
He's back.
What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hey, listen. Wednesday and BBB. I mean, look, the last time I was on BBB was at the Met game, and people are still talking about that performance.
Oh,
well, you got turned into a meme though, Coach, because your head swivel got turned into a meme.
Hey, listen, Matty, I had a little kink in my neck, so I just had to get it fixed real quick. What's up, fellas?
Between that, you had two of the best appearances in the summer. The Met game was one, but you at the track at Saratoga.
I forgot about Saratoga.
Well, you were forgotten everything as the condition that you were in with those guys you were in. Little too much.
Yeah.
Great
half
to
of them
see you.
Half of them are in jail right now, but we don't have to talk about that.
That's fine. That's we don't even mention that. First and foremost, we got a full slate of NBA. Okay.
Yep.
And we got to get to it. Wembanyama is in your city. He's playing the Knicks. The Knicks number is
Big.
completely out of control, JY. And I know you're dialed in with all the teams, and we'll get to where you're doing your own podcast and all that other stuff in a couple minutes. But what the hell is this number, JY? This is dog take, right? No?
I don't know. To me, it's about Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell has played really, really well this year, may not play. He's been doubtful all day. So that's why the number is what it is. So if Vassell plays, that number is going to move a couple of points. Now, it's also the fact that the last game they played, they give 160 points to a team. And Indiana, folks, I think is a lot better than people think they are.
Defense.
Not on defense, but scoring the ball at 125 points a game, I do like this Pacers team. But tonight with the Knicks, I actually am going to like the Knicks. But here's the thing. The Wembanyama thing, we talked about this, Sharapan. I don't think the books have been able to figure it out, him. So I like to play Wemby live. Generally, he is the first big out of the game, typically in the 4 to 5 minute mark. And last week, there was a game, I think it was the first game against Phoenix. He came out, his points prop pregame was 16.5. He had no points in the first 4 minutes. They took him out, not because of foul trouble. It dropped to 13.5. So they're moving his points prop a little bit too much. And if you notice, he's really good in the second half when he starts to figure out opponents and what's going on. Like he's got to feel the game out a little bit. So that's something to watch with Wembanyama when he plays teams the first time. If you look at the game, second time he played Phoenix, 38 points was sensational because he already had figured them out in the first half. So points prop, I think it's 18.5 with Wemby. If he gets off to a slow start, they drop that thing to about 15.5. I'm going to jump in. Only one game I do believe he's gotten under 15 points. That was 11 points. Every other game he's got 16 or higher. Okay. Obviously, he's playing a lot better. He is the goods. I think he puts on the show, but it may be in the second half.
Coach, the Lakers are crying. They are claiming that LeBron's not getting calls.
Oh, God.
He went to Miami, didn't get the calls. They're going to the league with videos saying, hey, LeBron's not getting the calls he's supposed to be getting. And look at all the contact. And this is not right. Yeah. Do they have a point or no?
Maybe they have a point. But either way, he's going over 24.5 points tonight. Either way. Number one, LeBron, listen, this goes back to the old Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson book of bitching, right?
Yeah. Book of bitching.
You go to the press conference, you complain, you moan, and then we know what happened, Matt. Next game, tons of fouls. Not only that, Dylan Brooks has now forgotten what happened in the playoffs last year, even though he's had a good year so far with Houston, and he's talking trash. Points prop is 24.5.
Not good.
I don't even need to research that. LeBron goes over it because he's going to be pissed off at Dylan Brooks, and he's going to probably shoot, folks. I'm going to say 10 to 14 free throws tonight.
Wow.
You mentioned the book of bitching and the Bulls. The Bulls are -1 tonight at home against Phoenix.
Why?
We just came off Halloween. Is this a trick or treat? What the hell is this number?
Oh, Can we stop for a second? I talked about this, by the way. Betting Above the Rim podcast now available all your streaming devices. Go check it out. But I got into this a little bit, and I'm going to ask you guys: what am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, of course you are.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck are the Bulls doing? Like, can someone explain to me? Like, what are you doing? Okay, I get it. Ready? 2 years ago, you were very good, right? But it was fool's gold. You guys remember, they didn't beat anybody that was in the top three in the East or Western Conference. They got rolled, right? Then Lonzo gets hurt. They go downhill. Last year, they bring in Caruso. Still bad. Then you're a team that I think should be rebuilding. And then you re-sign Vucevic. So now you got these three guys, Vucevic, who is a double-double machine, LaVine and DeRozan, who can both score. Caruso's a good defender. It's just not working. So why don't blow it up? Because let's be honest, even at their best, they're what? Seventh best team in the East?
Sixth top.
Sixth best team in the East?
Sixth best team top.
What are you doing? I mean, think about this. Zach LaVine scored 51 points, and you fuckers lost by 20. How does that happen?
Smoked.
I mean, listen, as a coach, I mean, what do? You walk in the locker room. Hey, great job, 51 points. Rest of you guys, you suck. I mean, is that what you tell your team? I don't know. But why this is a whatever line it is that they're giving a point, just take Phoenix on the money line tonight. I just think they'll find a way. We don't know if Beal's going to play or whatever. It don't matter. Kevin Durant's going to drop about 40 piece. And then Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen have been sneakily playing pretty well here. I would take a look at that. Maybe a Yusuf Nurkic double-double because he's got to deal with Vucevic. And Vucevic don't play no goddamn defense anyway. No. So a double-double with Nurkic may be in play tonight as well.
Coach, we saw obviously the trade that sent Dame to Milwaukee. It had a spillover, obviously, with Drew Holiday going to the Celtics. We'll get to them in a second. But the other piece was Robert Williams III going from Boston to Portland. They got off to a decent start. They've lost 3 in a row, and now it looks like Time Lord is gone for the year. Got that knee problem once again that needs surgery. There are 7.5-point dogs to the Kings tonight. Can they cover that, or you like Sacramento to get back on track?
I like Sacramento to get back on track. Listen, it's going to be an up and down team. And I understand what they're doing with Malcolm Brogdon. You're only playing him to flip him. Otherwise, there should be no reason why this guy is getting 25 minutes a night when you got Shade. I know Anthony Simons is out, but you got to play Scoot. You got to play Shade and Sharp. You got to play these guys major minutes to see what you have. So I do think I like the Kings minus the points tonight. Let's see what happens with denomination, non-denominating, getting the ball, not getting the ball. That's the tricky thing. DeAndre Ayton went from not getting the ball and bitching for a team that wins the championship to not getting the ball to a team that could be one of the 5 worst teams in the NBA. I don't get it. And by the way, shout out to the Boston Celtics. Y'all must do some really amazing things. You found a way to get rid of Brogdon and Robert Williams, and they both have problems. And I don't know how they did it, but God bless the Celtics. They must run. They must be it's like the party. They had to find a way to get them out of there. They put them in. I don't know what they did, but God bless them. Good for the Celtics. But I will say
Brad Stevens.
They got a leprechaun.
Yeah,
but Coach,
Brad Stevens.
The show's called Bostonia versus the book. The Celtics are laying 2.5 at Philadelphia tonight. The Sixers are 6-0 against the spread. I wore my Sixers finest today. I had to have you on to ask you about this game. The Sixers cover? I mean, you no.
guys, this is honestly, I went back and forth for hours. I didn't take a side in this game. I just took Joel Embiid over 29.5 points.
Attaboy.
Because of the fact of it's Porzingis and it's Al Horford, and he's going to have to find a way to score. He had 46 or 48 points last game. They have nothing to check him. So that's what I like the most. I think when you look at the Celtics, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this because of obviously Matt. The Celtics by far, forget the loss, they've been the best team in the NBA to start the season, and it has been close. The integration of Porzingis has been great. Drew Holiday has put people in flat-out jail since he's been there. And don't give me this. Whoever wants to sit here, and I'm sorry, Matt, you're going to be bad. I'm going to say this. any fucking Celtics fan that tells you that Marcus Smart is a better defender than Drew Holiday needs to get his head checked.
Agreed.
Drew Holiday is is the best
Agreed.
defender in the NBA and not even close. So
Agreed.
if you want to talk about a prop to look at Tyrese Maxey maybe going under his points prop tonight because Drew Holiday's going to put him in jail. But that being said, guys, I'm concerned with, can Porzingis hold up for the entire season? Do they have enough depth? And will Father Time grant Al Horford one more year?
Yes.
Because if they do, they should be the favorites to win the championship.
There you go.
But if not, teams with bigs, particularly offensive rebounding bigs,
Denver,
the Jared Allens, the Nikola Jokic's, even the Mitchell Robinsons are going to give the Celtics fits because they're going to kill them on the boards.
Don't you think, though, at the trade deadline, they're going to address that?
They're going to have to.
Yeah. I mean, I think Brad Stevens has already talked about that. They're going to get more rim protection for the playoffs. I mean, they're going to be looking for somebody, either a team that's out of it or somebody they can pick up and bring in. I would be stunned if Boston didn't do that.
And if you start thinking about it, man, if you just start going through the NBA, you start thinking about like quality bigs that would be in some kind of rebuilding mode. I wouldn't look at like a Vucevic, something like that. Honestly,
Defense.
if they're playing well, I don't know. Like I think a Clint Capella would be very good for them.
Like
Sneaky
it.
good. I think a Daniel Gafford will be good for them. You don't need them to score. Block shots, rebound, protect the rim. That's it.
That's what Time Lord, that's what he did. Robert Williams' whole thing was just block shots and rebound. And he was great at it, but he couldn't stay healthy. And that's why they gave up on him because, well, as we've now seen, he's now hurt. So they have to do that with someone who can play, not big minutes, but 15 minutes a game to come in to give you defensive stops when you need it. And look, the fun thing about Boston last year, I think Joe Mazzulla going through that and having the 3-0 deficit against Miami, rallying to get to a game 7 where they ultimately lost. I think we talked about levels and taking the next step. I thought that was a big learning opportunity for a young head coach to do that last year, right?
Let me tell you something. And that's why I have questions about Milwaukee because of Adrian Griffin, and particularly Adrian Griffin losing. Isn't it weird? Terry Stotts is an assistant. They get Damian Lillard. A couple weeks later, Terry Stotts is gone. Coincidence? I think not. But the bet, even though they got Holiday, even though they got Porzingis, to me, the two biggest additions for Boston are Charles Lee and Sam Cassell. He's got two. Remember, folks, when he took over, those were all Ime Udokas's assistants. These were his guys.
Right.
Now he's got his guys, and he's got two well-experienced, maybe not head coaches, but experienced assistant coaches who are going to be great coaches in this league, in Charles Lee and Sam Cassell. They got guys in the room to help, obviously, Joe Mazzulla, because as a head coach, I can tell you this, you only got two eyes. You need at least 2, 4, 6 more eyes to be looking at everything during the game to help you out. That is as good of a staff as assistant you could have than what they have in Boston getting Charles Lee and Sam Cassell over there.
Last question from me, JY, before we let you get out of here. The boys in the chat, we got guys too. Everybody got guys. You got to have more eyes. You got to have more of this. They have a very serious question for you. Now, I personally think you look amazing in the orange, but they want to know if this is a jail jumpsuit or a Syracuse warm-up that you're wearing on the BVB today, because Matt made it known about the Syracuse and they came after him. Which one is it, JY?
It is neither. As you guys know, I am also a teacher. I am a teacher at Ocean Township High School, and I'm supporting Donnie Klein and his football team. Not like they had a shitty season, but that's not my boy Donnie's fault. But, hey, listen, you guys know who went to Ocean Township? Who? Kenny Pickett.
Damn right he did.
As Kenny Pickett's high school. So shout out to Kenny Pickett, my guy Donnie Klein. He takes care of me, the football coach there at Ocean Township. No school Thursday front. And that's why and I want to put this out to the chat. Coach wants to start a petition. Coach wants to start a once a week BVB guest spot. I think I even went on the BVB Brigade. I think I have it on my Twitter. I think I'm streaming it on my Twitter.
You got to
right
wear
now.
the hat.
I got the hat. Listen, all right. I got to be honest with you. The jet hat has gone into hibernation.
Where is the jet hat?
It's gone
Speaking
into
of
hibernation.
which, they're coming to Vegas. I got Jet fans. There's a Jet fan party on Friday at the Circa.
Yeah.
You're
There
not
is?
on the list
There is?
because you
Oh,
ain't a
no.
Jet fan. You try to be a Jet fan when they win, but you get real quiet. You're on my show now, and we can say whatever we fucking want. You ain't a fake Jets fan.
No. I'm a real Jets fan. Why the fuck am I gonna fly to Vegas to see them get rolled? Like, bro, hey, wait, listen.
Come hang with us. That's all.
Anthony Munoz and freaking is not going to be playing the left side protecting Zach Wilson. Crosby, I went to with Bill Cosby rushing Zach Wilson this weekend. He may get 6 sacks. So no, absolutely not.
Okay.
I am not wasting my time coming to Vegas. Now listen, I come to Vegas hanging with Sharapan, but we already talked about Sharapan in about 8 weeks. Little big Sharapan.
Big and sick.
Big and sick going out east.
Coming east.
In your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods. Now listen, I'm more Central Jersey. I'm a little more bougie by the
We'll
beach.
find you.
She's a little bit more in the hood, but she's gonna be all right. She's gonna be all right. JY is close within an hour. Tell Big Kid Sig, Uncle JY is about an hour away.
Good.
She needs something, holler at her boy.
Coach, give everybody the information. Where can they find your stuff? Where they can find that new podcast you're doing?
First off, all social media platforms at Coach Young and Jay. The Betting Above the Rim Sound podcast by Sports Grid. It is on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on everywhere. We're going to shoot it every Monday and Wednesday to be released on Tuesday and Thursday. The one we just had on Monday, I talked about Bob Knight. We talked about Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, which Mitchell Robinson, don't have your trainer ever talk to people again about what you're not getting the ball, because all you can do is dunk a basketball, and half the time you can't do that shit right. What's wrong with Chicago? Why we talked a little bit about Boston and Milwaukee, but a couple of things really quick. -6.5. I am a believer in FAU.
I got a better number than you did.
What you got? You got 4.5?
4.5. I got
That's
4.5.
good. It's up to 6.5. And listen, Matt, I think they're gonna be good. And I think continuity wins in
Of course. They lost one kid off a Final Four team last year. They're going to Loyola Chicago, who was 500. I don't get that number at all last night. I was like, that number makes no sense.
And here's the thing, Matt, they're talking about the fact that they got 3 impact transfers that Valentine has. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's game 1. And that's why you always, when early year, you go with experience over something like that.
Amen.
I also talked about really quick about John Calipari. I think this is a big year for Cal. I think he's got to get to the Sweet 16. If he doesn't get to the Sweet 16 with this team, that buyout, even though it's $33 million, could be a thing. And then lastly, Slick Rick. I love Rick Pitino at St. John's. I've heard stories what's going on over there.
Of course.
But I will never divulge.
Of course. It's Pitino. What do you expect?
But I will say this. Pitino at St. John's. I'm going to say this to all the people that are East Coast basketball people, because you know about St. John's and when they were in the Big East with Mullen and Walter Berry and Carnesecca and Mark Jackson, Bill Wennington. If Pitino cannot turn around St. John's, nobody can. It's just not possible anymore. So it'll be interesting to see what Rick Pitino does with St. John's.
The chat is trying to determine the name, whether they call it Hump Day with JY or the BVB brother visit, something like that. I don't know. We're going to work on it. But thank you for being here, sir.
Good project. Coach, great to see you, my friend. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Hey, next week.
Shoot it on the way out.
Right.
Shoot it on the way out.
Nice. Yama, high release, baby.
Swap that thing out of here.
7-6. It don't miss. That's a great point. Good cut. See you, Coach. We'll talk to you. Coach James Young joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Always great to get in with him and talk some hoops with him here on the program.
I'm hooped out.
You are? Really?
We got more hoops to talk about?
Of course. Yeah, we got more things, but we'll talk about what happened last night first, and we'll go and we'll roll into it because you made mention of it a little bit earlier here as to the Sharks, who finally won yesterday. They beat the Flyers 2-1. They avoided the record for the worst start in the history of the NHL. They
Yeah.
tied it, but if they lost last night, they would have had the worst start ever.
Yep.
Their next games are Edmonton and Vegas. I mean, this is setting
Well,
up
they could beat
perfectly.
Edmonton, no?
No, this is setting up
Oh.
perfectly because this is what you want. Like, this is when everyone starts talking, we talked about it yesterday. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's going, oh, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. The only bet I lost last night was that play. And I would have made that bet every time because they lost. They won the game outright. And they have I think they're 8-2 in their last 10 games against the Flyers. They own the Flyers. They're going to get run by Edmonton and Vegas. This is puck line. Right back to the well.
Right back to it. We got Joe C. Myers offered on the Twitter to keep track of it. He's going to keep track of it for the entire month, what the units are. And we're down a unit right now because it was plus money. So Flyers -1.
Yeah.
But we'll get it back because
getting it back tomorrow night. You're getting it back.
I didn't even look at the shots on goal. Did the Flyers dominate the shots on goal?
Nope.
No. So it was a good game. It was a good game just overall by the Sharks.
They looked asleep. I mean, Philly looked asleep. Like they looked this was just not, they were not interested in this hockey game last night. It was just one of those moments where you had one team playing for their lives and the other one skating around and playing a game and just going like, if we lose, we really don't care. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, they got outshot 39-19.
Yeah.
The Sharks got outshot 39-19.
But they weren't high danger chances though. I watched the game. It was not like,
okay,
you weren't watching the game going like, oh my gosh, defensively, there's the goalie sitting on his head and like this should be a 5-1 game for the Flyers. Like they just weren't playing with great intensity.
39-19, 0 for 4 on the power play for the Flyers.
Yeah,
they out-hit them. They out-faced off them. They totally won every statistic except the score.
So Edmonton, Vegas, puck line, right back to it coming up. Starting tomorrow. All right, Ohio State is ranked number 1 in the latest college football poll once again. Georgia number 2, Michigan 3, Washington is number 4.
Is this the least dramatic, least surprising thing on television? I mean, anything. Like every week we do this and we watch this and we go, okay, thanks. Like I don't feel like I gain anything from it. You?
I think there used to be more intrigue and interest into it because people were getting pissed off because they wanted 8 or 12. And now that we know we're getting 12, I think people are far more accepting of this and just going like, yeah, this is for now. Like, this is not permanent. This is just for now, because Ohio State is number 1 over Georgia because of the resume. And the prevailing opinion is if Georgia gets past Ole Miss this weekend, their resume then is better than Ohio State's, and Georgia goes to number 1, regardless of what Ohio State does this weekend. So, and then Ohio State plays Michigan.
2.
Maybe, but that would mean
their
that
resume improves.
If they beat Penn State, correct. Yes. If Michigan beats Penn State and Georgia beats Ole Miss, you're right. It goes 1-2. But I don't think the committee really wants to have Michigan play Ohio State in the playoffs.
They're not going to. They're going to play in the thing.
Yeah, but they could. But depends on who shakes out with what as to what does a 1-loss Ohio State team look like.
They're out.
Probably, but dropping from 1 to out is what
this
the
is how they get them. They work it up. I mean, Michigan's going to move past Ohio State with this win. They're going to move past them. So
fair.
Whether they can keep Ohio State 1, Michigan 2.
Let's play
Georgia
devil's
3,
advocate.
No way.
Hold on. Let's play devil's advocate just for 1 second, okay? Does the score matter against Penn State? Because it's a common opponent. Michigan's only real quality win will be over Penn State. Technically, Ohio State's win at home against Notre Dame is better because they'll have 2 wins. Well, I mean, at the time,
but it's not now.
Fair. Yeah, fair. I mean, I just playing devil's advocate on Ohio State saying, wait a minute, we should be ranked higher than Michigan just because we beat Notre Dame.
Ohio State's
They've only
got
beaten
other
Penn
things
State.
to worry about than their rankings right now. There's a lot of things going on with all this other stuff. This is not good.
For who? Michigan or Ohio State?
It doesn't look good for anyone in the Big Ten, to be perfectly honest, after what I read today about everybody snitching on everybody.
They pulled the wrong thread. I mean, that's why you got to be really careful when you want to expose somebody else. and you got skeletons in your closet, you got to be careful, man.
Right?
Did you really want to be kicking that door open and saying like, look, oh, don't look at this over here. Forget about that. Just look over here. And people were like, yeah, but there's like 2 dead bodies behind you, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, there's a dead body there, but there's 2 behind you. What did you do? Oh, I didn't do anything. It's just all them. Really? Are you sure? Because it sure feels like this literally is turning into Spygate 2.0. I was making the joke about it, but this is following the trek really consistently because we found out during Spygate that numerous teams were stealing signs. They just weren't using a camera to do it. We're finding out that numerous Big Ten teams were traveling around with people in stands, literally keeping track of signs. They just weren't using a guy either on the sidelines or a guy who was using a camera of some sort to tape and document it. I mean, this is very, very similar. And now the Big Ten's going to have to answer these questions. What did Ryan Day know? Is Ryan Day tied to the PIs who went and investigated this for Ohio State? If Ryan Day hired a private investigator to go and investigate Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and then we find out that Purdue and Indiana and everybody else, they've all been doing this the whole time. What are we doing? This is unbelievable.
It's not good. I read a little bit and I was like, this is
bad.
Silly. Just put the headphones in the helmets and be done with the signs.
Fair.
Like seriously, stop.
It's simple, and you have the money to do it, so you can't even say it's too expensive or whatever.
Right.
It's a 30-year-old rule done to try to level the playing field, so Michigan and Alabama can't outspend, UAB. It's just stupid. It's really dumb. The rule is stupid. It's archaic and dumb. And yes, maybe they went a bit too far with sending somebody around. And this story is nothing to me besides essentially this is an indication as to how the fellow coaches feel about Jim Harbaugh. They don't like him. They want him gone for a variety of reasons. They want him gone, which I'm fine with. Okay. But does the NCAA want him gone? Because that's the only thing that matters. Because the Big Ten bylaw and the NCAA bylaw are different. In the Big Ten, the university is not responsible for what the coach does. In the NCAA, the university is responsible for what the coach does. So it's very from a Big Ten perspective, they can say suspend Harbaugh and we're done. Michigan can go on and play for a Big Ten title and play for a national championship, and there's no worries. There's no issues. The NCAA can come back and say, well, hold on a second. Your coach did this. You, Michigan, you are responsible for what Jim Harbaugh did. We can keep you out of the playoffs. We can bowl ban you right now.
The whole thing's just got to be done. The whole thing just has to be done. They got to just get one. How can it doesn't even make sense. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So
I thought my head hurt from the Big Ten Conference Championship tiebreaker. That right there would drive. I don't have a clue. Well, they said it don't matter. Well, no, they said it did. So
which is why the Big Ten's making a mistake. See, the mistake the Big Ten is making with this investigation is they are trying to supersede what's going on with the NCAA. They should just say it's an NCAA matter. Let them deal with it. But the Big Ten, because they got a bunch of pissy pant people around like Ryan Day in Ohio State, they were going, wait. They're doing this. You have to get involved. No, you get involved. Let the NCAA get involved because they're already investigating Michigan. But because they want it actionable now, they don't want it actionable when the NCAA is going to do this because the Committee on Infractions will have their hearing next year in 2024. Remember, Jim Harbaugh already served a 3-game suspension for practicing during COVID that the NCAA is investigating. And the Committee on Infractions will have a hearing next year after the football season. The Big Ten folks want it done right now because they want Michigan out of the Big Ten championship game.
I've never heard you do that voice before. The chat is reacting to the voice more than even what you said, but how you said it, which is
my Ryan Day voice.
That's
what that
Ohio
is.
Versus the world.
It's my Ryan Day voice. Yeah.
I don't know. It's Wednesday and we're talking about this still. I can't wait to just talk about the game.
But it is the game. You have to talk about this because it impacts the game. The game, meaning what they call Ohio State, Michigan. because both Ryan Day
We're not
and
talking
Jim
about
Harbaugh.
that game yet. We're talking about Michigan, Penn State.
I know, but Ohio State, Michigan, both head coaches might not be there. They both might be suspended for it. It's unbelievable.
They're not going to suspend him for this weekend.
Who? Jim Harbaugh? No.
Okay.
But the game after Thanksgiving? I don't know. You might have both. Both guys might be out. That might be the compromise that they come up with and go, okay, fine, you both are out. Neither coach can be there.
That'll be so bizarre.
It's not.
I would
crazy.
bet that they're both going to be there.
So would
right
I. And Michigan was fine with that. You know who's not fine with that? It was Ohio State. That's who's trying to get him out. They don't want Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. Why? They can't beat him. That's why.
Oh, boy.
They can't beat him. If you can't beat him, go try to get him out. Ryan Day can't beat Jim Harbaugh.
Saturday. Jeez.
I hope Michigan beats Ohio's ass. I'm sorry. I'm just not worried about Penn State. I'm just not. I haven't been worried about Penn State. Maybe I should be. I'm just not worried. It would have to be all sorts of turnovers and errors by Michigan to lose this game this weekend.
I just don't think Penn State can score enough points. That's my issue.
Yep. But turnovers can help that.
Yeah.
You pick sixes and fumble recoveries in the red zone and things like that. So, and the Penn State defense is good enough to do it. So that's the key. Penn State's defense got to win that game. It's like Iowa. All right. So you like Philly tonight? +2?
I just want to see them play good against the Celtics.
That means you know they're going to lose.
I
That's your answer when you know your team's going to lose. That's your answer.
I just want to see them play
I just want them to play good. Just play well, please.
Just be competitive, please. Like,
so Embiid's, by the way, just to give JY some props here. So Embiid over the last 2 games against the Celtics, he scored 52 on my birthday last year.
Yeah.
He scored 41 in the game back a year ago in February of 23. But in the the games before that, he had scored 28, 26, 19, and 25 in 2022. So last year, 28, 41, 52 against Boston. The year before, 28, 26, and 19. So I'll be curious to see what the defensive game plan is going to be tonight against Embiid, given there's no Harden. So you have Maxey, but Boston can handle wings because of Tatum and Brown. They can athletic wings Boston can handle. It's Embiid's that's been the question. And then the third scoring option, which they don't really have in Philadelphia. So I'll be curious how this goes tonight. But getting White back is huge for Boston, just from a rotational standpoint. Drew Holiday is going to be tremendous tonight.
Put it in the chat. Boston -2, Philly +2. Watch the chat roll with all Boston bets. Why in the hell would you take Philly in this spot? I mean, seriously.
They're at home. I mean, Jules gave a pretty good case. He laid it out pretty good for why you take Philadelphia tonight.
Books are going to need Philly.
Oh, there's no debate. The
books are going to need
numbers
Philly.
going up already. It's 2.5 already. So the books are going to need Philadelphia. There's no debate. The books are going to need Philly.
Yeah.
Can you bet over on a Knick game, even with Wembanyama playing? This is hard, right? I mean, the Knicks are an under team, in particular at home.
Yeah.
Yet the Spurs don't play defense, and Wembanyama wants to run, and and Pop wants him to run. Amazingly enough, they want to go up tempo.
I mean, the numbers starting to come down when you look at all the different places.
The total or the side?
I would lean over right now.
Right.
Yeah, because the Knicks will play their style and run and just outscore them. I can't believe the number's 10. I cannot believe the number's 10.
I had to double check it. I was like, wait a minute, what? The Knicks are double-digit favorites against who?
Can't believe it.
Like, what are we doing? Like, wow.
Boston by 10. Celtics, Boston minus the. There's nobody taking Philly. LL just came in. He said, if I can get 2.5 a tip, I'll take Philadelphia.
It's 2.5 now.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it continues. It's going to go to 3. Let me click this thing. Click refresh. Oh, we bounced to 3 in town. I guess I was going to say they'll take 3. Oh, no. I thought they would take 3. Maybe not. Maybe it'll go past 3.
Right, 3.5.
Yeah, that's it. Whew.
Yeah, I can't see higher than 3.5.
I don't know. The San Antonio, New York game, I want to see. Like I saw Wemby had a quote like it's just another game when you're going to Madison Square Garden. He didn't do that pay homage to, oh, it's the first game in the vaunted, vaunted
But it hasn't
garden.
been that. MSG hasn't been that for a long time.
For the kids, he's a kid.
I
It's
mean,
like,
yeah.
it's another trip on the. It's another game
It's
on
just,
the road trip.
It's called the Mecca, but it hasn't been that for 30 years.
Oh boy,
It just
Here come the
hasn't.
New York people.
I've been there
Here
a
we
bunch.
go.
I mean, I've been to multiple Big East tournaments there. I've been to games there, St. John's games. I've been to Nick games. Been to hockey games and Ranger games.
Ranger game was hopping last night.
I mean, it's a nice place, but it's
nice.
not like
Not
it
like
used
was.
to be this amazing place. You were like, oh my gosh, you walk right off the New York City streets, right into this big right down into the bowels of MSG.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I mean, I would equate it to playing at T-Mobile Arena. Like there's just nothing like that makes me go, oh my gosh, I'm in this presence of greatness. Like what have they done?
Even
what,
Spike Lee right down on the sideline.
what have they won? Yeah, but they have a bunch of rich people on their sidelines. Big whoop. I mean, that's okay. It's New York. I mean, you see, that's like here. You walk down the street and see random celebrities all the time.
It's crazy. You really do.
I mean, it's like it's not the big
really
deal.
do.
Living in New York, the same thing. Like, every New Yorker has got their story of, I had lunch next to Matthew McConaughey, or I had breakfast with so and so who was sitting next to Robert De Niro was having a coffee next to me or something. Like that's just a normal New Yorker thing. It's a normal thing in Vegas. Like, my daughter knows that I idolize David Goggins. David Goggins runs by our house.
Yep.
We're driving down the street. There's David Goggins.
Right.
Wait, Daddy, that's the guy that changed your life? Yeah, that's the guy that changed my life.
That's him. Yeah.
It's just he happens to be running right by my house. Like that's just what Las Vegas is. It's a different place to live.
Yep.
New York is very similar. So I don't know, MSG, you can have it.
The Mecca of mediocrity.
Oh, I like that.
Blair Chick came in
Fair.
and said, "That's all. That's JPC to fourth. Good call."
Who do you like, Golden State or Denver tonight? This is a hard game. I went over
It's
this
a
like
really
5
hard game. I keep falling for the Golden State.
I keep falling for Denver.
Yeah, I think they trade blows right to the last basket tonight.
Because Denver, I mean, I bet Denver first half, and I bet Denver the game for their last game. They didn't cover the first half, and they outscored. I forget who they played, but they
destroyed the Pelicans.
40-20. They 40-21 in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, outscored them. I think outscored them by 5 or 6. Won the game by 15 points. We're down by 10 at half.
I should have done the waterfall gif with halftime bets of that. I saw that score and I'm like, oh gosh, Denver's gonna crush them. Here comes. You take every bet in the book on one side and you sit there and you're like, can't stop them from betting it. They're gonna win, and they did. I think they trade blows. I think this is a fun game to watch. I think it goes over. It's 227. I'm surprised it's not 232, 233, somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, there's some high totals tonight on the board. Let me double check. Where's the highest one? No, that is. Oh, yeah, 242, Utah and Indiana. How is that 242?
Because it's Indiana.
I guess 239.5, 240, Washington, Charlotte. That game's going to go over.
They're giving up. Indiana's giving up 130 tonight.
Yeah. I think the game goes over. It's going up 4, -4. It's moving right now. Guys, if you're watching it in a risk room somewhere, God bless you all and enjoy this college basketball season because it's going to be very interesting for you. But this is a fun game because it's the last game too.
Right.
So it'll be on. It'll be a lot of things rolling to it. There's a lot of interesting, different type of matchups tonight in the NBA. A lot of like cross-conference teams not in each other's division.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good. I think it's a good indicator for both teams. I mean, Jules told us Draymond's not playing. See if Joker's hurt, dinged up, minutes restriction.
Yeah, he's got the wrist. He has the wrist. But he played the last game with a triple-double with it. So 35 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, I think he went with the wrist. So it's like, how bad is the wrist really? I don't know.
Right.
I lean Denver.
Right.
College basketball, number 10, Florida Atlantic. This number has run up to 6.5. I have a much better number here with this one. I couldn't believe it when I saw it at 4.5. I was like, wait, what? How? And it was moving after I bet it. It was moving while I was doing research. I watched it go to 5 and 5.5 and 6 and now 6.5. I don't know what the top is for this, but
Where's Wintrust Arena? Where's the game being played at? This is a neutral site because Arizona State's playing Mississippi State right after in the same place. So somebody in the chat put where Wintrust Arena is.
Hold on. On this. Yeah, I think it's what do you call it? I thought that's good. I actually thought it was in Chicago.
I don't think
yeah,
so.
It's in Chicago. I was right.
Oh, DePaul.
It's in Chicago.
It's in
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought so. I was like, wait a minute.
So Arizona State and Mississippi State are playing there too. Interesting.
Yeah, afterwards. But this is the first game. This is Loyola Chicago's the host of it, so they'll have all their fans there. It'll be a home game.
Well, if you like 6.5, you better bet it now. It's moving 2 places offshore right now.
Down or
7.
up?
It's going to 7. Yeah,
it's going. I don't know what. Again, I don't know what ceiling is. This is going to be one of my better CLV. Either.
Oh,
in the trash can.
AOWN said this is a Barstool event. How about that? Did not know that.
It's a Barstool Chicago event. Oh,
that's what it says. Yeah. Huh.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Did not know that. Yeah.
The Barstool Sports Invitational. Oh, there's a bunch of different games, I guess. There's a women's game. Okay.
Well, that's what they did here the other night. They had a men's game.
Well, no, that's tomorrow. I guess that's not part of it. This is FAU, Loyola, Arizona State, Mississippi State.
Okay.
For this. So, oh God, they're calling this game. Yikes. This is not going to be
Johnny Parlay just came in the chat and said it's not near the DePaul campus, though. It's south of the Loop, but it's DePaul's new arena replacing Rosemont. Thank you, Johnny.
But it's all going to be, it's a home game, essentially. It's not on campus.
I mean,
for Chicago.
It's close to Loyola.
Yeah, Loyola is going to have all their fans there. But FAU is going to kill them. FAU they're bringing back everybody except one guy from the Final Four team last year.
Wow.
Like I don't understand it. I mean, like you're asking Loyola, who is bringing in, they were a 500 team last year. They're changing conferences. They're now in the American, I believe. They left the Valley.
Huh.
But they have a bunch of like transfers who've come in here, but I'm not up against a continuity team like JY said. Nah, man, I'm all over Florida Atlantic. I have no idea what to do with this except I'm going to watch Mississippi State. I've been told by some people to watch this team. That Mississippi State may be better than people think.
Really?
Yeah, that this may be a team. It's a team in the SEC to pay attention to. That they may have something to be said. Arizona State's always one of those teams that they're supposed to be great and they fall on their face far too often. There's a lot of unhappy Sun Devil basketball fans right now, so you may be catching a program on the slide here to jump in with this one. But I have no real opinion on this game. The Kings are playing here tonight against Vegas. This is. I got 6.5 last night. I have no idea why the books put this at 6.5. This goalie matchup is absolutely fire under. Even under 6 had fire on it.
Really?
Talbot's got a 1.67 goals against average on the road. Hill's got a 1.7 goals against average at home.
Huh.
I mean, both these goaltenders are unbelievable. 5-0 shutout by Talbot in their last game. The Kings have won all 3 games on this road trip. It's their 4th game on the roadie.
They got the Penguins at home tomorrow, too. It's a weird
playoff game type atmosphere tonight.
And road.
Yeah.
Road and home. Usually the West Coast teams don't have that with the East Coast team. But I don't know. First blush, I like over.
No.
I do.
No way. It went 4-3 in the first matchup, and that's why. There's no way this game's going over. Can't see it at all.
I like over.
Vegas is the under team at home.
Watch.
Why do you like over? What's the
I just like
guess?
over. I don't know. I just like over.
But why?
With this matchup. I just like I saw the number. It's 6 over 15 now, 6 over 20.
Right. With 6.5.
I like the game over. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I with Hill and Talbot both in net. I can be wrong, but I don't. First period under 1.5 goals. Game under. Vegas to win. Those are my 3 bets on this game.
Ooh. Wait, what'd you say that the first bet was?
First period under 1.5.
Okay.
Game under.
Okay.
Vegas wins.
Yeah, that's that's the way to bet it if you like Vegas, I think. I think they trade scores a little bit. I don't know if it's in the first period. The first period under is probably good. That's the way the Vegas has been starting. I don't know. Between this and Ottawa, Toronto, there's 2 good hockey games tonight. Very interested in watching both. Trying to see if I can get a pass. I'm going to go down maybe and watch the night's game.
Remember, the Knights lost their last game too. So it's TNT, national TV. 6-2-1 Talbot, 6-0-1 Hill and net. The last 5 games for the Kings have been pretty impressive. 5-4, 4-3, 4-1, 3-2, 5-0. They are 3-0 to the under on this road trip.
Yeah. This will be fun. This will be
good
if you're
atmosphere.
up late back east, like stay up and watch this hockey game. I think you'll get a good indicator. These two teams are going to see each other again, most likely in the playoffs.
And they don't like each other. So it's great.
This will be fun.
This is when the Knights came into the league. This is the team that everybody circled because everyone's like, so what's the rival? What's the rival? Is it going to be Arizona? Everyone's like, fuck no. It's the Kings. It was like 100% everyone in town was like, the Kings. We want LA, which is why an NBA franchise here would be so epic.
Oh, yeah.
They will hate both LA teams with a passion.
Well, a team here would be perfect. I mean, even for the Utah, for the Suns, for the Lakers.
Geographically speaking, it's perfect.
The Golden State and Sacramento both, like they'll want to make Vegas the little brother to all of them. Like you guys are showing up now and be in the Western Conference with us. Oh, okay. So
bring it on. I love it.
I don't know if Arizona gets good. That'll be a fun little matchup too. That'll be a good, back-to-back trip, Vegas and
basketball or hockey.
No, hockey. If the Coyotes get good, that'll be a good matchup because they're the little brother right now.
Right? Yeah, they are. They ever, and they play in a little brother arena. So
yes,
it's everything about it right now is little, but they could come out absolutely. All right, college football. Wednesday, we take a look at the numbers. Only 4 games that have ranked teams playing each other worth talking about. Georgia, number 2 in the country, 11-point favorites against number 9 Ole Miss. Totals 59 in this game. Favorite and over?
I mean, you think that's too low?
No, it's just look. Ole Miss doesn't play any defense. That's why
at all.
But I don't know how many points Ole Miss is going to score on Georgia. So I feel like they got to take the air out of the ball. They can't go up tempo.
I don't think they change a thing. I think they try to outscore them.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. That's
I don't think it's going to work.
Right. That's why you get run out. That's why you might get run off the field.
Just initial number at the joint. One of our favorites at Circa was 12, and they took. So it went down and it's come back up. I don't know. First blush is favorite and over. Yes.
Yeah. This is a big game for Georgia because it at least quiets down any questions people have about, well, who have you played so far? So if they go in there and curb stomp Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, it's a good message to the committee. Like,
do they start slow again though? Like, is this another one of those?
Well, that's the thing. If Ole Miss gets off to a fast start, that could be a problem, right? I mean, that's the worry. If they offensively, if they're sputtering in the first quarter and it's like 14-0 or whatever, maybe a hell of an in-game opportunity with Georgia. If Ole Miss gets up quick.
Maybe, but I feel like this is not a statement game. Georgia has a statement game every game because they're the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, but they haven't played a top 10 team yet. This is the top 10 team. They got a chance to hammer.
They got to blast this team, right?
Agreed. Yep,
they got to blast this team.
They're not going to, like, if they have a chance to go and score a bleep you touchdown, they're going to do it.
Oh, we're trying to hang Fitty.
Agreed.
We're trying to get the total over ourselves.
Agreed.
For Georgia.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree with you.
We're not trying to just squeeze by and play good defense. And no, we're giving it to Ole Miss and letting the rest of the SEC know we ain't stopping.
Right. And frankly, Alabama. It's a message to the Crimson Tide. Oh, you guys played Ole Miss. You had your issues. We played Ole Miss and we knocked them into next week.
Fair.
See you guys in Atlanta. Let's have some fun. Don't forget who we are. We're the 2-time champs.
Can't believe there's only 3 regular season games left for college football. I cannot believe it. It's November 8th. It's getting dark at 4:15 to 4:30. And there's only 3 actual college football full weekends left. I can't believe it. It's gone so fast.
The second game we circled in June, Michigan at Penn State. Numbers 4.5. Totals 45.5.
Under. That's my first thought is under.
Agreed. I just don't, because Michigan's offense hasn't been all that explosive either. And I think Penn State's defense keeps them in the game. That is what concerns me about the 4.5.
Yeah.
That it could be a 4 or 3-point win. That hook matters to me. 2017 final?
Does Penn State get 17 points?
They might. Defensively, they might.
I don't know. I don't know. I got to talk to some more people and get encouraged a little bit more about.
Oh,
the
I can't
'cause
help you there.
I know. It's 4.5 or 45. This has the makings of an ugly, I'll be aggravated by the third quarter. It'll be 21-3, and I'll be going,
Yes.
why did you do this to me again?
That's
Why did I fall for this again? James Franklin, I could shave my head tight, put the glasses on, put the Penn State gear on, and we could be cousins. And people are like, what do you keep falling for every year? He can't win a big game. Don't beat anybody good.
He's 2-7, right, against top 10 teams.
No good. It's no good. The adjustments. Ranieri hit me with a stat yesterday. Penn State and Michigan have outscored their opponents combined in the third quarter 211-0.
How much of that's Michigan?
A lot of it. A lot of it. I mean, they did a job
this
on.
Is like me and Mark Cuban getting together, and we're combined. We're a billionaire.
They did a lot. They did a lot of damage with the UMass. They put up a lot of points in the third quarter against UMass.
The best stat of college football yet so far of the year is that not a single snap for an opposing offense has been taken inside the 10-yard line for Michigan all year.
Oh, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's not encouraging. That's
not a single offensive snap has been done inside the 10-yard line for Michigan football in 2023.
Yeah.
It's November.
Thanks.
It's November. Yeah. You don't drive on that defense. Every touchdown.
They got all the signs.
Every touchdown given up has been outside the 20-yard line.
Thanks. I got that from Furman. Thanks. He can't wait. I know he's going to text me on Saturday.
He is.
He did it again. He fell for it again. Todd, leave me alone.
Washington against Utah. This is the game in the Pac-12.
I can't wait to watch this game.
This is it. This is Washington's final major test before the Pac-12 title game. They're going to lose. This is the game they're going to lose.
We saw Utah at home against Oregon.
Yep.
Non-competitive.
Not even fun to
watch.
Not
competitive at all. Like done watching in the halfway through the third quarter. Like there's they're not coming back and they're not scoring.
Nope.
Washington beat Oregon
by 3.
They beat them though.
35, but
Utah's not going there to win the game.
I know, but so they lost to Oregon 35-6, right? They turned around and beat Arizona State 55-3. So they bounced back, took out the frustrations out on Arizona State. Now they go on the road. They beat Southern Cal 34-32 on the road. They lost to Oregon State 21-7 in the road trip before that. I don't know if they can go to Seattle and win. It's asking a lot at Utah.
I don't think they're going to win. Can they cover?
I think they can cover. Yeah. Give me 10. I feel much better about it.
Let's see. May not be out of the realm of possibility. It's paid at 9.5. I don't know anybody's taking. I don't know nobody's laying. That's interesting. I don't know. First blushes, Washington continues the road to Vegas for the Pac-12 championship. Wins. You may have to get a cover late, or Utah may cover late.
Right.
I don't think Utah is in any threat to win the game. So first thought is favorite.
Well, that's the case. If you don't think there's any threat, then I think you just lay the points.
That's that's right. That's where I'm at Wednesday.
Okay. I mean, if the game's not going to be, if you don't think Utah's going to have any shot of winning,
41-17.
Oh, then lay the
like
points
that.
in. Okay. That's a route. Okay. Then Washington lay the route. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I may not even play this game. And then finally, big game in the SEC, not from a national championship playoff perspective, just from a bowl perspective and rankings and whatnot. Tennessee at Missouri. Missouri looked really good last week. I mean, I know they lost to Georgia on the road.
Yes, they did.
No, they just in the fourth quarter, they just made a couple of bad mistakes. They just, Georgia's Georgia, but they were right there. I mean, they had a couple of plays where they could have taken the lead in the fourth quarter or even won the game.
Right.
It's a big game. Tennessee last week destroyed UConn. They beat Kentucky on the road after losing to Alabama by 14. Coin flip game.
Completely.
Over is the only play.
Is it?
To me, yeah. Both these offenses are going to score.
I can't believe you didn't put Pitt at Syracuse. On the list of games for us. That'll go on Friday's show.
Oh, sure.
Make sure you're here.
Why would I? If I'm putting disgusting football on the rundown, why not just put Iowa on it?
That has to be on there. It's
on Friday. Will be
lowest rated total ever
in the history of college football.
That has to be a discussion.
It will be.
Yes,
Friday.
We don't want to show everybody our cards.
No, I just want to see how low is that going to go. That's my question.
We may have already reached the bottom. One game, too, that I think will make the list. No, not Rutgers and Iowa, although it is 28 in 3 places. 28? What are you people doing? Iowa State and BYU is interesting because of your bet with Iowa State.
Well, that's
total.
I have that plan for bonus time. We're gonna we'll get into that during bonus time.
All right, very good. And then I think we have to address Arizona laying a gigantic number. I think it's a gigantic number at Colorado. Arizona's covered 5 in a row. They've been very good. They're laying 10.5. The total's the speed limit in the slow places, 55. That'll be a nice Pac-12er in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
for us
to watch on Saturday for sure. We can do this inside of our time with Sports Grid. You guys don't get this normally. Better to book a time. All right, I am going back to one of my favorite plays. You're going to get a lot of Creighton.
This is back.
You're going to get a lot of Drake.
Drake is back.
Drake is back.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
So Drake is the preseason pick to win the Missouri Valley. Tucker DeVries, son of Darren DeVries, is the preseason Valley Player of the Year.
Okay.
They got a 6'10" kid who is going to be a pain in the ass for anybody who plays because he can rebound and box you out. They won the Valley tournament. Tonight, they're dropping the banner at the Knapp Center. Number scared me. 13.5, 14, little too rich for my blood. Drake scored 80 points or more 13 times last year, including all 3 in the first 3 games of the regular season. Lipscomb lost to Wichita State in their first game, giving up 85 points. Drake's going to run and shoot and score tonight. Drake team total over 79.5. Better to book it.
It's crazy. Right now, the board moved Florida Atlantic to 7. I know we got a lot of people here watching the show. Again, we like, subscribe, all that other stuff. I don't think we're moving lines. I don't think so. Somebody might be moving lines and watching the show. I don't know. But this one here, after what you did yesterday with the
Creighton
number,
and
all that other stuff,
every number hit for Creighton. That closed at 89.5. Every number cleared.
Absurd.
Go to 105.
It's absurd. All right, over 79.5 in Lipscomb Drake. We're the only show in the country talking about this.
I love my Drake Bulldogs. D-Rock, they're playing here in Vegas. They're playing in Henderson. I get to see Drake and Creighton play in one season in in Vegas. Coming up in December. I'm so excited.
I'm going with you. All right, I'll meet you there.
So fun.
Totals 144.5.
Yeah.
You don't like the game over.
I'm concerned about Lipscomb. I don't know how many points they're going to score. I think Drake's scoring. I know Drake's scoring. I don't know about Lipscomb. I'm more comfortable just saying Drake's
all right. Score. Convince me. Bet it. Chris Covey in the chat just said Lipscomb is caca.
They are.
Well, we don't like caca, so let's go over.
They are a team that won 20 games last year. They did have a couple of shockers. They beat Louisville last year, but Louisville was garbage last year. So they're not Florida Atlantic bad. Okay. Or sorry, Florida A&M bad. that they're not like last night with Creighton playing Florida A&M. They're not that bad. Jays were 35.5 point favorites. It's 13.5 or 14, right? Right now for Drake?
It's actually Drake is 16 in half the places, and they're moving it down right now. 15.5 just moved. Coincidentally, all at the same time.
It was 13.5 last night, or 14. And I was like, I don't want to lay that number. I'm concerned about that number. Just rather lay what I think is going to happen, and that Drake is going to score a lot of points. The Knapp Center is going to be excited tonight for the banner drop for winning the Valley Championship. It's going to be a fun night. So kids get their rings.
One star Gorov just came in and said Drake, Nevada, he will be there no matter what. So he'll be there at the game too. So
I got Creighton UNLV and I got Drake in Nevada playing in Henderson at the Dollar Loan Center this season. I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. Well, it looks like I'm going to have the best number.
Box at the Dollar Loan Center.
Do it. Oh, that's right. We know that guy.
We're going to reach out.
Oh, I got 2 games. Tell me I got 2 games we need the bat box for.
All right. We'll bring the kids and everything. We'll set them up there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I got the best number on the planet, but might not mean anything. FAU -4.5 against Loyola Chicago.
Bet it.
Yeah.
I mean, JY said it. As you said it. The number's flown. I don't even want to discuss it.
Okay. Celtics -2.
No, I can't. I'm dressed like freaking Wilt Chamberlain.
What do you mean, no? You're just
Irving.
betting it or booking it. You're just saying no.
Booking it. I'm booking it because every book in the world is going to need this. This is maybe we'll get the book. We'll get right one time, and we'll be on the right side of this
book.
Game.
Cleaned up last night with the San Jose Sharks. Who the hell bet on the Sharks last night?
Not too many people.
Nobody. Yeah, the whole world was on.
How are the Flyers -190 over anybody? I mean, like in reverse, think. It's hard to believe.
Well, no, I mean,
puck line was the right play because you didn't lay juice.
Right, but the puck line, I mean, but still, it was a good number. It was the right number for the books. I mean, they put the right number up, and that's
every game. The goalie for the Sharks stood on his head. 39-19, they got outshot over 4 in a power play. I mean, that's hockey. Sometimes you win games.
They literally went to the locker room and said that there was a gigantic relief, a gigantic exhale after the game because they didn't set the record. That was a playoff game for them. They were
oh, look at that frozen face. Oh, no. Mikey, awesome. Got you bad. Oh, boy. Oh.
Are we back?
When they get you when you freeze like that, when you're
on that, yes.
they get you. So I'll do one for Mikey. You can use that one.
Yeah, there you go. No, they were so excited because they didn't set the record. So that's why I think that's why they get killed in the next 2 games because they know now they can just go back to being the Sharks, which are awful. But Flyers, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think Boston off of a loss last game against the Timberwolves, lost in overtime. It's Philly. It's a refocus game, and Philly's played nobody. Schedule's garbage. This is their first real good test for Philadelphia, and I think they get just like when we saw, but when Boston played. Had a chance to, when their first, big games come in, they had a chance to flex a little bit and go, okay. So I think this is Boston's chance to flex a little bit tonight and off of a loss to come back and say, just remind you who we are and what we're doing. Boston will go through a lull, but off their first loss, like the Bruins off their first loss, Celtics off their first loss. And then finally Vegas under 6.5. I don't understand why you like over in this game.
I like over. So I'll
six.
Excuse me. I'll say
over 6.5.
Well, it's 6 now. I mean, again, the winning team gets 4. So when the winning team gets 4, I think they'll take at least 4.
Yeah, I can't agree. I can't agree with
5-3, something like that.
I'd be really surprised.
I think we'll get goals. JPC the fourth said, "Fuck the Flyers." I just wanted to get that in.
Amen to that.
Sign off.
I just can't. I can't. If I'm looking at a 4, I can't figure out which goalie has that bad of a game. Talbot or Hill has their worst game of the year. Would be by far the worst game of the year for both goaltenders.
Is that we got confirmation those 2 are playing? Yes. Talbot, boy, that's going to be a great hockey game.
Yes,
boys and girls, if you're in the chat and you like hockey at all, just watch this game.
TNT, it's national TV. Everyone can watch it.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's national TV game. It's absolutely huge game.
Bet it or book it. Senators, Maple Leafs, 6.5 over under. I say over.
Over.
You
yeah.
say bet it.
Over. Yeah. So Talbot has given up 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, and none on the road this year. So 4 goals for him would be dramatic, would be double his worst
performance. Right.
And Hill at home this year is 6-1 overall. Hill at home has given up 1, 1, 2, 4 against Chicago, 2 and none. So four would tie his worst home performance, but that was after he played Chicago the game before. It was the home and home.
Wow. Otto says first period under and then live bet the over. There you go.
5.5. Okay. Don't mind that. Middle
Well,
it. Try
drop.
to
This will, if this closes 6, which it looks like it's going to do,
right
at regular places, not at like a FanDuel, but
right.
they'll move right away to 5.5 if no goals in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
By the end of the first period, if there's only one goal, you might see a 4.5. And over 5 is tremendous in hockey. I mean, over 5 is strength.
Over 4.5 and under 5. I mean, that'd be great. I could have. I already have under, so
middle. Yeah,
I can go and shoot the middle. So that's not bad. So, folks, that's what we do for Better to Book It. I know you guys don't normally see that or hear that on SiriusXM or on Sports Grid TV. That's what we do in bonus time. Come over and watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can see all the extra stuff, including most days where we do Better to Book It. We also do favorite thing about today. We answer super chat questions, and I actually have a question for Dave about one of my own personal bets that we're going to get into coming up on the other side in a segment that we call bonus time. Okay, so how should I play this? This is I'm gonna make you answer the question that I'm getting asked left and right by the Daily Juice audience because I'm not really sure what to do with this, and I can't. So all right, so I have an Iowa State future under 5 wins. Iowa State has 5 wins. I already bet on Iowa State last game
and lost,
and I lost.
Right.
My inclination is to just eat the unit and just say, let's not stress this. I'm up 18 units in college football.
Right.
Okay. I'm hitting 65% of my bets in college football. I'm doing very well in college football.
Right.
I don't need to chase for a 1-unit loss on one play. I tried it once. I lost. So technically now I'm down. They were
favored last week too.
2.5. Yep. Everyone is saying, look, this is the last time Iowa State's going to even have a shot at winning the game.
It is, right? Well, excuse me. What's the last 2 games?
It's they play BYU
this
week.
Then
Kansas.
At Kansas?
I believe so. Hold on, let me double check. They play at BYU, home for Texas, at Kansas State. Sorry. They lost to Kansas last game.
I mean, it'd be very surprising if they win either one of those last 2 games.
Agreed. So this is the last one. So I got one guy who they don't listen to me. So I bet 1 unit. He bet 7. He's like, I have 7 units on Iowa State under 5 wins. I was like, well, wow. I didn't tell you to do that. He's like, well, what should I do?
Okay.
If you're me, what should I do? And I was like, well, I don't know, because you have I would definitely be hedging. I definitely would be betting on Iowa State here for the next, at least for a BYU game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not so sure I want to touch this game. Like, BYU is not good, but Provo is really hard to play. And the Cougars just got worked on the road in their last 2 games, 35-6 and 37-7. But they beat Texas Tech at home, 27-14. And they beat Cincinnati 35-27 at home. They suck on the road, and they're good at home. So, like, I'm inclined just to, like, let it ride. And let's just, we tried the hedge once. It didn't work. Let's just see if BYU can beat Iowa State, because most likely it's going to be a push. And so then we're just 0-1-1, and we lose 1.1 units on it, versus going down 0-3 is the potential.
Well, not if you bet Iowa State again.
Okay, to bet Iowa State to win, they lose. Right now I'm down 2 units. So they shock Texas. They beat Texas. Now I'm 0-3.
They're not shocking Texas.
I'm just saying the potential is there. If I go and bet it again, I'm opening myself up to potentially losing 3 units on one team that I wasn't seeing well to begin with, versus just saying, you know what, I'm done with it. Let's just play it out and see if they lose out. If they lose out, we're at 5.
That's just a personal choice. I mean, there's no way now to correct it.
Right. There's no hedging.
Because, you've done the hedge bet.
I lost. Right.
You know, they lost the game. So now you can do it again. And
Right.
if you win the straight bet on Iowa State, they win. You lose the other bet, you wash that out, you still lose a unit. So, either way, you're stuck one. So you could let it go. Or, the guy's got 7 units on it. He could bet 2 units on Iowa State and recover, some of the loss on the under if they win. Otherwise, he wins. He doesn't win, he pushes. If he got 5. If he got 5.5, he wins. So
Right.
it's a personal choice. There's no one way to answer that. I think you have to make the decision where you want to go. You had your shot last week at, them winning.
Trying to do it, and I missed it. So okay.
So
that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna let it ride. I'm not gonna chase anymore. I'm just gonna look at. I've banked enough W's in college football that I can absorb the one loss, and let's get Penn State to win. Let's get LSU. I guess LSU can't because they lost. The LSU future will fail. The Penn State future. So the Penn State future is still live. The Iowa State future probably won't hit or could push. And then maybe Michigan wins the whole damn thing and it covers it all. It's 11-1. So
this is great. The chat is saying we're unit shaming, talking about units. I don't think we're not unit shaming.
No, I'm just saying. If I tell you,
you're joking. It's a joke.
Okay. Yeah,
unit.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just
talking
saying
about units.
I know we're in bonus time. We talk about penises. Okay,
I got a lot of talk about that in the chat.
I understand this. Super chat question. We have one coming to us from Sonic. So just wondering if you could do a chat survey of betting laws by state on the college level. For example, in Arizona, where college prop betting isn't allowed, this includes the team totals you have been doing on the juice. I don't understand why team totals aren't allowed. It's a good question. Why wouldn't that not be allowed?
In some states?
That's a prop in Arizona. A team total is a prop bet.
They throw this stuff together at the beginning and they make concessions to just make sure that anyone that might actually read it doesn't go, wait, hold on, they can't do that. So they give these concessions in like team totals on college, and they don't do it.
He said, I read an article.
Game props in New York, they can't do so many things
in
New York that they can do in other states. When I do the shows with Wetzel, he's like, I can't even see that on my app. So that's one of them. It's silly.
Wow. It's silly. So Sonic writes, I read an article about college betting laws by state. I'm wondering how restrictive states are for college. One, it seems to me to be one of these two packages. The first, it's spread, money line, over, under, full, or half. Or 2, the full gamut of player props, game props, etc. I'm sure offshore is a workaround, but I'm curious more about the variance in the domestic laws state by state. They are pretty dramatic. I think we know that they are pretty dramatic. And like Dave was talking about, some of the states had real people writing the laws. Other people had clueless people writing their laws. And we're just throwing it together and just saying, oh, we don't care about that. Yeah, a team total is a prop. Yep. Go ahead, make it illegal. Yep, that's fine. It's like, wait, but it's not a prop. It's an actual side. Like, what are we talking about here? No. You can't. Game, full game, halftime, over, under. That's it for college. It's all you can bet.
Any bet, individual game, not individual player, like by week of game or schedule of a team, you can have those. Anything else, no good. Individual kids, player props, most of the time, no good. In Nevada, they choose not to do them. They are able to do them. They just choose not to do them because, one, they're hard to do. They're there's a lot of guesswork with the numbers, and there's a lot of you don't know consistently who's playing, and the variance is nuts. So we didn't do them except for the bowl games, when we did them, and it was a guess, but it was an educated guess. Take some of these games, where there's big spreads. How would you come up with a Milrow prop against, directional state? It was very difficult. So it was just easier, just don't do it. Well, when any discussions came about in legalizing this stuff or spreading it, they just say, we won't do that. Oh, okay, good. There's then the perception is, well, you can't get to the kids that way because they don't have props. And the politician hears that and goes, good, check, good, done. The assistant says, oh, they're not going to do individual game props for players. Don't worry about it. Okay, sign it. Good, done. I mean, we couldn't do bets on UNLV here when I got here. And I was like, we've been taking every team. When I was offshore, we took everything. Like, we put up lines and we took bets. We live in Nevada. We're in Vegas. The school is 10 minutes away from here, and we can't take bets on it. Nothing made sense to me. And the old timers were like, that's what they had to okay, so we could take bets on everything else. And that's part of it too.
Covey writes, new today, an offshore book that starts with H is offering pre-built parlays as of today. First time I've ever seen them do it. No same game parlays, but games that they pick.
Oh, really? If you can't beat them, join them, I guess, boys. Wow. I mean, if the software makes it easy to do, I guess they got to offer it because everyone else is offering it. And it's a high
Yield
margin product. It's a high margin product. It only helps the bottom line most of the time. Just scroll past it. Like on the socials, like when you swipe left or swipe right or whatever you do. Guys, if you log in and you have one of those, I swear I've never looked at one and thought, oh, I should play this.
Right.
Again, that's just me. I'm not the customer.
I don't trust the books.
They like this stuff done for them, Perrault. We've had meetings with people that told us this is the future.
It is the future.
Going to happen.
Because the books want to make the books are designed to take your money. They're not in business to give you money. So anytime they offer me something, there's a reason for it. There's a string attached. This is not like out of the goodness of their heart. Here's a parlay that's guaranteed to hit. Well, who designed it? Well, we did. Really? I'm supposed to believe you? What can I bet on it? As much as you want. Really? What about the
pre-made? A lot of them have caps.
Yeah, some of them. But those are bonuses, right? Those are like the hit a 3-point shot tonight in the Celtics game and you win $50. Like those are capped at $50. But a lot of the pre-made parlays don't have caps on them. You can do whatever you want with them. You can bet it because they want you to. Come on, bet. Come on.
Can't believe it. I never. I mean, like if you'd have told me 10 years ago, I'd have been like, the book, we get to make the parlays and they're gonna do them. Like, I don't think that'll ever catch on here.
Mikey, you can't write clipped penis in the Discord. You can't write that.
What?
You can't write on the live chat. Mikey just wrote clipped penis in the Discord.
Oh my God. What is happening?
You can't write that, Mikey. You're an admin.
Wrench.
You're an admin. You can't write that.
He's a wrench.
The number of connotations that come out of that sentence is unbelievable.
What in the hell is going on in
Oh my. Doing brisks in the chat? What are we doing? Come on, boys. What are we doing?
Forget when my brother had that done.
My brother had it done at 9.
9?
Might be the most horrific thing I've ever seen, heard, done ever to any kid. It scarred me. Fuck scarring him. It scarred me.
I just got a pain and I didn't know. It hurt me just now.
Yeah. The doctors made it. It was kept on getting infected. So they said, we have to do it. Like, what do you mean you have to do it? Like, you have to do it. Like, I was like, oh my God, at 9.
I was 5. No, I was 4. When my brother Doug got not when it happened to me. It's this big ceremony and everybody came over to the house.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, David, go outside. Like, what's everybody doing?
The rabbi's going to come in here and do his thing.
Yeah. He's going to, what? I remember my uncles were like, Dave, just go outside. Go ahead. Just go play on the swing set. Then he told me later what that was about. And I was like, what? They did what?
Yeah.
Oh,
what? Screaming, crying. we come into the world. We come into the world. We start thinking like, why, guys? Why are the way we are? Like, we come into the world and we had the first experience, like on the first couple of months. Like, that's what you did to us. Like the most sensitive part of our body, we're taking shears to, just lopping it off.
Oh, shears.
Enjoy that. Favorite thing about today is what?
Oh my God.
Your sleep study.
Whew, I'm just trying to recover from the thought of that. I always thought, like, if I had a son, I was going to have to do that and hold the legs.
No.
Like,
Sorry, son.
because my dad did that. And he talked about that. He said I had to turn, when they did that to you guys and all that other stuff.
It's
Never
tough.
had a son, so I didn't have to worry about that. Thanks for putting that thought in my head. Yes. My favorite thing about today is that I think all of these 3-year follow-up appointments from the stroke are testing is done. Now I just
Good.
have to patiently wait for the results. But last
Good.
night I went and spent the night at the Sleep Center of Nevada, which, if you want to sponsor the show, we're more than welcome to do it because
Sure.
I had a great experience. A young gentleman originally from Alaska who lives in Boulder City and drives to this place every day to work,
Wow.
put all this stuff all over me and said, he was talking to me, he's nice as could be. He actually, I told him about the show. I said,
Nice.
yeah, I said, if you're bored in there at night, just put on YouTube or, watch the show if you like sports and all this other stuff. But I'm going to find out about a lot of how I sleep, which I sleep like a baby. My wife will tell you that I don't, but she tells you a lot of things that aren't true. I found out about this, storage shed after the fact. So I think it was just another reminder that we have so many people from all over again and that watch the show and things like that. And then a way of reminding guys, especially because we're terrible about this. I told someone this the other day. They said, I haven't been a doctor in 22 years. I said, that's nothing to brag about.
Right.
Go to the doctor. Take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm learning about all these things in my 50s now that we got to just be better at. And it was like, yes, wire me up, tape all this stuff to my head. He taped 2 things to my calf, and he didn't shave the legs, which I don't have much hair on my legs, but he ripped them off this morning. And if I wasn't up at 4:30,
You were
I
that.
was up at 4:31 when he went.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Oh my.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, but hopefully all went well. I slept like a baby and I woke up ready to go with all of this booking guests. I was talking to Julian and Coach. They're like, what are you doing awake? Because I sent them each a text this morning at 5:15 our
Damn.
time. And they're like, yeah, I'm up. What are you up for? I
Right.
said, BVB, Basketball Wednesday. I need you. Done. Thank both of them. Favorite thing about today, the show, as usual.
I agree. Not really my favorite thing about today, but I just want to people who comment on the YouTube video after the show is over. Andy Alba wrote something yesterday I wanted to read because I can't figure out what he's trying to ask. He said, I'm always watching from New York City. Is there any room for a 7-second daily winner, one fan pick? That would be different. I watch you guys every day, and I'm sure many others do as well. It says, and we enjoy different type of swag and vibe that you guys bring to our fresh eyes. What's a 7-second daily winner, one fan pick?
Randomly just pick somebody to give us a 7-second pick? Is that what it means? I don't know. We can't get anybody to agree on anything. We did a show last year on Saturdays on the Discord channel, and everybody came up to the, podium and gave their 30-second to 60-second pitch for their bet.
Right.
We voted on it afterward.
Yeah.
And it lost pretty much every single week.
The Discord bet was a iteration that I started back with the juice during COVID. I stopped doing it because it went 0-11-1.
Right.
It went 0-11-1.
So, it can become a fade. You guys are more than welcome to put stuff in the super chat of games you want us to talk about.
Right.
Now, the problem is if you're not in the live show, you
Right.
can't do it and we don't see it. You can leave those comments on the YouTube and we'll get to them.
We'll see.
Anything that involves the people more, I'm in favor of if it helps the show. Like, I would love to give people the platform to come on and talk and give picks and, get hot and all this other shit or fade. You got to come on. When you lose, you got to come back. Like, that's what we talk about all the time. The winning and the losing ebbs and flows. So I don't know, Andy, but It's 7 seconds. Why 7 seconds? That's a little fast, isn't it?
I mean, I guess just like a quickie little, like, I don't know. Like, just like, this is what I'm betting. This is what I think today. Take Drake minus 14. Like, that's it. Just say it like that. I don't know. I just wanted to read that because I didn't know what he meant. So, Andy, we do read that stuff. We do read your comments. If you guys do comment after the fact, we do see those. So appreciate you guys.
And I also wanted to thank everybody. We did hit the number on Monday's show. It was 115. And yesterday has 95 as of this morning. So you guys are doing a job. Appreciate every single one of you.
Thank you so much. Back tomorrow on a Thursday, NFL College Football Day happening tomorrow, same time, same place. Hope to see you guys for BVB on a Thursday.
Go Sixers!